Always curious, Professor George Washington Carver committed his life to scholarship, community, and the integration of his Christian faith with higher education. It's in this spirit we welcome you to Carver Classrooms. Led by a diverse set of faculty guides, this series will explore contemporary questions at the crossroads of knowledge, faith, and wonder. These nationally recognized teachers are both practicing Christians and respected academics, working at the highest levels of education around the country. We hope this series can be an encouragement. In our time together, we aim to translate complex issues into usable Christian frameworks for everyday life and ministry. My name is John Hendricks. I invite you to join us as we explore God's gift of knowledge and draw aside the curtain together.
My name is John Anazu, and welcome to Carver Classrooms. In this course, we're going to explore a framework for living together in a world of difference. It's what I call confident pluralism. Both words are important. Confidence without pluralism misses the reality of politics. It ends up suppressing difference, sometimes with violence. And pluralism without confidence misses the reality of people. It ends up papering over difference for the sake of false unity or feigned agreement. Confident pluralism takes our differences seriously and seeks common ground, even when we can't agree about a common good. In the classes that follow, we'll break down some of the legal and civic components of confident pluralism, including how and why we should pursue humility, patience, and tolerance in our relationships across difference. But first, let's define some basic terms and goals. Pluralism is a complicated word. Think of it in two ways: descriptive, what the world is, and normative, what the response to that world should be. Start with the descriptive. Pluralism describes the fact of difference in our world. People have deep and irreconcilable differences that aren't going away. Some of these differences are good, but nobody really believes that all differences are good. Pluralism does not mean relativism. The second definition of pluralism is normative. What should our political response be to the fact of difference in our world? Pluralism as a political response to difference suggests that we find ways to live together despite those differences, recognizing that we won't resolve them in this lifetime, but seeking to live together is better than the alternatives of suppressing others or withdrawing from society. Confident pluralism is a political response to the fact of difference that recognizes three realities. We are beyond interfaith, we are beyond propositions, and we are beyond simple agreements. Confident pluralism goes beyond the category of interfaith. A generation ago, interfaith meant Christians, Jews, and Muslims coming together. Back then, interfaith was hard enough, but there was at least some common vocabulary and shared resources from religions that acknowledged God and transcendence. Today's society includes a significant number of non-believers who reject both God and transcendence. This doesn't mean non-believers are bad and believers are good, but purely as a matter of discourse, today's environment is much harder to navigate than it was in an only interfaith context. Confident pluralism goes beyond propositions. In the 1990s, Christians could assume some shared baseline understanding in the broader culture. People had a basic knowledge of the Bible. Most people believed in God and an afterlife. Most people understood a concept like sin. In that context, it was easier to argue with propositions. God loves you. Sin separates you from God. Everyone is created in the image of God. Today, we can't just argue from propositions. We can't just assert our beliefs. Instead, we have to demonstrate a willingness to listen to others and to recognize that we ourselves might be wrong. Confident pluralism goes beyond simple agreement. The real challenge is not that we disagree about the need for justice, equality, or dignity, but that we disagree about the meaning of those terms themselves. And absent a way to deliberate about their meaning, we'll find that meaning imposed by whoever gains political control. Guarding against this possibility means making room for dissent without assuming agreement. The goal of confident pluralism is not to settle which views are right and which are wrong. Rather, it proposes that the future of our democratic experiment requires finding a way to be steadfast in our personal convictions while also making room for others to disagree. And Christians who place their hope in the person and work of Jesus can, of all people, be leading the way in this effort. We can be confident without sacrificing compassion, and compassionate without surrendering our confidence in the one who loves us. As we'll explore in later sessions, we can be people who speak and act in the world with humility, patience, and tolerance, because our thoughts and actions are characterized by faith, hope, and love. Here are some things for you to ponder after this session. Do you have ideas or beliefs that are difficult for you to imagine might be wrong? Are there particular people who you find difficult to love or even like? What opinions or beliefs do you find difficult to listen to? And are there opportunities that come to mind from the ideas in this session that might give you a new way to think about engaging in a world of difference?